Hey, this is Pure, and I wanted to do my own tutorial of the song Don't Stop Believin' by Journey, a very popular song during my time in the 80s. Now, there are already several good tutorials out there from Pianote and from Bite Size Piano. Those are two which I follow and they have great tutorials. But I thought I could also give my own take about it. Not a full tutorial in terms of the note by note and playing of the whole thing, but adding my perspective from someone who only learned the piano, relatively recently, for the past year and a half now, self-taught. So I'll share with you those things which I think are harder for a beginner, and I'll also kind of give you options in terms of how you want to play it if you don't want to play it or can't play it exactly like what we have on the record. So the very first thing I think would be knowing what the chord progression is for the song. So we have here E, and the key thing here is that you have to have developed your skills at the point where you are comfortable with octaves, both on your left hand here and also on your right hand here, where you can see that we have this inversion of E, where we have the B here and the E there. So E going to B, and then we have C sharp minor, and then A. And as you can see, it has a consistent pattern of the octave root at the left hand, and on the right hand you've got your, this form of it. Now that's the first half of the intro. For the second kind of set, the only thing that changes is instead of the C sharp minor, it becomes a G sharp minor instead. So we've got E, B, G sharp minor, and then A. Okay? Now you can choose to play the song being on the beat, meaning that you hit the chords at the start of the one. Say we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, right? And then for the second set of chords, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now, you can do it that way, but the kind of the character of the song would be these two things. One would be that on the right hand, you've got this pattern, right? So that's one, so you have to practice that. Now the right hand does fall on the beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then for the second set where we hit the G sharp minor instead, you've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, right? Now, that's on the right hand, so you know that you are on the beat on the right hand and you have that pattern. Now on the left hand, this is the kind of the signature of the song, where this thing, dum dum dum, right? We know that that famous. I'm sorry. right? Now the start, right, fall on the beats and at the start, but then this one is on the, it kind of, this hits it an 8th note before the next bar, so it's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? So it's in the and 4 and then 1 would be on the right hand, right? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 is what you have there, but 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? So that's a kind of the tricky thing here, which is of course hard for me to learn, because you need that coordination where the left hand is not on the exact beat of the first beat of the bar. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? And then same goes for the rest of the bar. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1. Right? So that's the hard part. Now, the other thing would be from first, of course, the hard thing on the left hand, aside from being on the and 4 end, is that you need your octaves, and you have to do that with consecutive octaves, right? So, and you have to hit it cleanly so that you don't, hit any other notes, right? Now, out of all of those kind of shifting from one chord to the other, or those and 4 ends, the one which I found to be hardest would be this one. So this is still okay, right? Because your kind of hand is going, kind of just moving forward. And then the other one, this is not so hard because it's not too far apart, right? Now this third one is the one which I find hard just before you go to the A chord. As you can see there, I couldn't even hit it cleanly. So it's this one. Because there's quite of a distance that you have to travel from this one, the D sharp, to the E, to the A. Right? So it's a bit of a jump. Right? So that takes getting used to. You had to do that again and again and again. And then for the next round, right? So that one that you go from C sharp, D sharp to G sharp, it's not as bad as the other one, because for black keys they're kind of raised and you can have a better feel for it. Right? So, and then on the right hand, of course, you have to know it should be on autopilot in terms of where it's going. And on the right hand, it's the moving to the A, which is tricky because you're moving kind of the thumb and the middle and the pinky. Because for the other ones, it just stays in place, right? It's only the middle finger which is changing. But then you go to here. So just make sure that you try to hit that cleanly. Now the other thing would be, for this part, when you go from the G sharp to A, you'll see several tutorials where some do it like for bite-sized piano, when they go from, they just do, right? So you don't have your dum dum dum, so you just do a dum 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 dum, right? Then for piano, what they have is it's doing this one from the the higher G sharp. I'm sorry. So this one, dum dum dum. That's what they want you to hit, right? Which is a bit awkward for me. What I do is this one, the lower G sharp to the higher G sharp to A, like dum 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 dum. That's what I do. Dum dum dum. Oops. The other thing here, the third component, is that your foot has to be hitting the pedal correctly, right? Whenever you're changing those notes, and usually it's the left hand which would sync up with your pedaling. So pedal, pedal, right? Pedal, right? So for that G sharp thing, what I do is this one. Again, so you have to pedal here. And then, but the other one which I've also seen would be this one. The D sharp to G sharp to A. Which also sounds good, like right, this one, dum 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 dum. So again, G sharp, and then for that dum dum dum, you're doing the D sharp, G sharp, A. So it's up to you. I would suggest that, you know, the way I would tackle this song is that from the if you're just starting out, that you do both hands on the beat, and then on the right hand, you know, first you can do whole notes, right? Just to get the feel of the chord pattern. Oops. This is the second part, so we have the G sharp now. Right? Now, once you have that, you can proceed with, say, doing the pattern for the right hand, which would be right? And for the left hand, I'm still doing it on the beat, right? So that makes it easier. But then once you have the feel of that, you can try doing the and 3 and 4, right? 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 4 and, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 and 4 and 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 and 4 and, right? So and it does take some time to develop that coordination, but it's kind of the signature of the song, so you can't get away really from doing it and practicing it. If you want to, you know, you don't need to be perfect and have it exactly what we have in the record, but you always want to capture the recognizable, you know, properties, right? The attributes, the things which make it memorable. So again, now even that going back to the E, I really find it hard to do that, you know, coming from the A to the that it's like a and for end, because it's too much. It's like your left hand, this is going to travel so far from this one to this one to this one, right? Dun, 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 dun. So for that one, you might just want to do dun, dun, dun. Kind of just linger here. Dun, dun, dun. Meaning that for the E, you hit it on the beat instead of the for and one, right? So that's what I do. And four and one, right? Instead of and four and, I just do and four. So it's like a quarter note here. Okay. As you can see, even though I've been practicing this for several weeks now, this part is tricky. Again, it's kind of, it's more intuitive for my left hand to go from, like, going this way. That seems to be easy. And if you're going back from, this seems easy because, again, you're not traveling that far, right? But this one, D sharp, E, to that low E, and so that's impossible for me. So even this one, D sharp, E to A, took me a while before it kind of sounds okay, right? Although it's still not clean, but those are the things that you might find difficult. And this one, again, for the D sharp one, I just do low G sharp, high G sharp, and then A. Because again, your hands are already in that octave form, right? Dum dum dum. But if you want to be fancy, you can do this. Da, da, da. But you get, you know, there's much more things moving around. Again, let me do that, you know, G sharp thing again. Is what you want to do. D sharp, G sharp, A sounds better if you can do it, right? As opposed to what I'm doing. It's okay. At least you have those three beats, right? And four and four and. But you don't. Sounds better to me. Octaves and four and, going from D sharp to G sharp to A. See, this is the one which you need to watch out for. Now, even singing to it is even harder. First thing is that, of course, we don't have Steve Perry's voice, and also the pitch, because the it's over here. Just a small town girl, just a small town girl. So I do. So when I sing it over here. Just a small town girl. But if you want, if you have the chops for it, living in a lonely world, you're just a small town girl, just a small town girl. And so you have to sing at the same time that, of course, this would be the N4 N. You're just a small town girl. It can get tricky, but I suggest practice the accompaniment first. Once you're comfortable with that, then go ahead and do the singing as well, especially if you have a nice singing voice, which I don't, right? So you'd see that many times I'm not hitting the octaves perfectly. So for the E, because again, you're hitting consecutive octaves, and you have to make sure that both the pinky and the thumb are hitting the right notes. Just like that. Again, this is the one I find difficult. So again, the simpler part is dum dum, but you can do dum dum dum, or you can do, I've seen it, dum dum dum, or you can do, I think this one, you know, if you are, of course, more experienced, but again, this video is for beginners. But if you can get to that point, this one sounds good to me. Okay. Now for the other parts, I think Francesca's tutorial is perfect for this one. The only thing I can say there is this, the strangers waiting, is that you're supposed to be doing this, you know, what do you call this? Consistent, this one. My experience is that it's hard for me to have that same level of volume for this thing going on continuously, like. So it's hard for me to, I find it hard to make that sound good. That beat, it's supposed to be bouncy. So you're shifting from A to E. And then the right hand you've got here, you see the notes. Da, da, da. And then when you shift, you're shifting both your left hand to the E, and on the right hand you've got this thing. Da, 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 da. So the challenge for this part is making it sound smooth, like you, and you know, a bit more musical. But again, it's sometimes rough for me moving from. And what's the other thing which is hard is that this is moving in this beat, and this one is not moving at the same beat, right? It's only da, 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 da. And so what I'm doing is I'm bouncing this right hand again also, but only hitting in the notes when I need to. In the night, for that one it's just, you know, chords B, B, E, B, A. So again, dum, 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 dum. So those are the main parts, and you go back to do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. See, but again, my perspective in it on the how to do it is from someone who's still learning the song and still trying to improve. So I'm sharing those parts which I find to be challenging. So hopefully that helps you too. So that's it. That's my version of, not really a full tutorial, mainly like a reaction to the tutorial, to the other tutorials, with my inputs in terms of how to make it, you know, easier or harder, and letting you know which are the things, the parts where you can expect to find some difficulties. Okay, again, thank you for watching. This is Pure. Have a good day.